80s music. The first time you hear it, it's quite novel.
I will talk anxiously about horror.
And you come out going, oh shit, we're all going to die.
I get up in the morning begging for the phone to ring so I can be on a clip show. And my rates are good.
In ye days of old, one of the worst punishments you could suffer was being placed in the stocks, where people would queue to jeer and spit at you. The stocks are still around today. The difference is they're no longer made of wood, and people volunteer to place themselves in them. Oh, and they come with their own avant-garde title sequence. This year's Big Brother has been longer and more ramshackle than ever, with serious questions raised over the screening process, which purports to weed out the mentally unstable, but in practice seems about as efficient as a raft made of discball. Part of the problem is that anyone who wants to go on the show in the first place is clearly too disturbed to pass any kind of psychological test whatsoever. Then there was the mess over the supposedly soundproof house next door. Well, that worked out well. Like most reality shows, Big Brother is defined by its hate figures, who in turn are defined by the edit suite.
Dear 60, 9:11 AM.
The Daily Highlight Show works as a kind of Git magnifier. Hours of footage are distilled into a sort of basic sketch in which negative character traits loom large. Watch long enough and before you know it, you inadvertently wind up hating some of the housemates more than Hitler.
This year's Hitler beaters have included a hair-gelled preening little vole called Caesar, Grace, played here by Michelle Fowler, a spiteful modern snob who could bitch the hind legs off Joan Collins, and Jane, a one-woman hen knight whose ceaseless belching rendered the show as unwatchable as close-up eye surgery.
The current cast of inmates breaks down as ever into the good, the bad and the In the corner stands Scouse-Mouse Jenny, Yawnson Michael and Imogen, who's so dull and inconsequential it's a wonder the mirrors lining the house remember to show a reflection.
Oh shit.
Here's a philosophical poser for you. If a tree falls in the forest and only Imogen's there to see it, does it make a sound?
Like I'm feeling quite... what's the word? Brain dead in this place. Really?
The bad camp consists of Richard, an automated bullshit flinging machine who talks more crap than a turd salesman.
You're a delicate little flower, you are. You're a little tulip.
Mikey, a docile cartoon hound with the personality of a door. A man so dense he can scarcely form sounds, let alone words.
Do you think I'm not a bit?
No, not at all.
How about when I said you lick Susie's ass?
And Spiral, a cross between two different idiots who both believe they're Eminem. Spiral's also got a hair-trigger temper which threatens to erupt every time he remembers how the show works.
They made him look like a little clown on TV. That's not right.
That's Big Brother, isn't it?
Well, I don't care who it is. It's not right. He's a fucking person, and he should have got what he bleeding worked for. Now, you've made him look like an absolute individual, just a bad pair. It just looked like a clown on TV.
The Good Brigade are smaller in number. There's Glyn, the naive boy from space who can't seem to fathom how anything on Earth actually works. Mobile buttock exhibition Ashleen, a sort of Argos version of Marilyn Monroe, whose chin, bizarrely enough, seems to just disappear every time she removes her makeup. And the obvious winner, Pete, whose startling gimmick is that he actually seems like quite a decent sort of bloke. Although as this overlong series churns relentlessly on, he's become painfully aware of his lot.
Memories. You're just going to have to live with us for the next 5 weeks. Okay. Yeah.
For a popular entertainment show, Big Brother's got a weirdly doomy feel to it, with the house itself being a sort of ringtone version of Death Row, complete with anguished "I want my mummy" conversations straight out of Saving Private Ryan.
I just want to see my mother. Oh, babes.
And the inevitable countdown to eviction, which functions as an obvious metaphor for death, replete with last-minute pleas for a reprieve. Sobbing relatives secretly glad you're dying and not them, and the final terrifying step into the unknown. Anyway, there you go, Big Brother 2006. It's like an inconsequential version of the news, basically, but with less hope for mankind.
Sadly, the news is the scariest show on TV right now, but it's not always been that way. Here's a look at some scarier old fictional shows, all of which are available on DVD. First, Tales of the Unexpected, ITV's fondly remembered series of Twist in the Tail playlists with the Roald Dahl seal of approval. More often than not, you can see the twist coming before the opening credits have even started, but that doesn't stop it being thumping good and occasionally hammy fun. Next, The Stone Tape, a 1972 BBC spine chiller from the mind and pen of Nigel Neal, creator of Quatermass. In it, a team of scientists researching a new recording medium stumble across a haunted room and attempt to capture a ghost on tape. Hands up anyone who thinks that's a good idea. Despite the dated effects, I guarantee your skin will crawl clean off and hide under the nearest table. Finally, Hammer House of Horror, a strikingly nasty fright fest from the early 80s. While Hammer movies tended to focus on tits, vampires and whopping gothic castles, the TV series' lower budget forced it to rely on eerie goings-on in suburban settings, which somehow makes it all the eerier. It's got a remarkably sadistic attitude to kids too, which is always good fun.
The world's seen plenty of unexpected comebacks in its time. Lazarus, Noel Edmonds, Whooping Cough, and now Celebrity Love Island. Sorry, did I say celebrity? Because they've dropped the C word this time round. Presumably because the cast this year are so shockingly unfamous, your best chance of spotting a face you actually recognise is to sit so close to the screen you can see your own reflection. Two of them qualify for inclusion on the basis that they're just related to celebrities, but they're not even blood relatives. This girl, known probably even to her friends as what's her name, is just Paul Gascoigne's stepdaughter. Well, Thingy Bob there is Pierce Brosnan's adopted son. See those fish in the background? They're more famous than him. Most of the others aren't much better. There's a sour Kiwi called Brendan, for instance, who walks around all the time looking like life itself has just broken wind under his nose. Then there's some bloke from the streets, and when I say the streets I mean the band The Streets, not the actual streets. He's not genuinely homeless, at least not yet. Colleen What's-Her-Name, a Playboy model, so vacuous and whiny they probably used tapes of her speaking to torture people at Guantanamo Bay.
I have best friends that I've had for 10 years. And the reason why I've had them for 10 years is because when I'm a friend, I'm a friend. I'm not going to anyone else.
How'd you like that, huh? You want some more? Do ya?
There's also a bewildered 9-year-old boy who seems to have been sent to the island by mistake. Oh, and her, whoever the hell they are. Still, at least a couple of them are at least vaguely recognisable, such as Sophie Anderton, the model, who's hit on a novel way to keep slim by crying all the fluid out of her body. Shane Lynch here is also a familiar face, largely because he's popped up on reality shows before. In fact, people like him stay on reality shows so long, the shows themselves actually become their reality. Love Island's secret weapon is former Hollyoaks star and Crazy Frog lookalike Paul Danan, whose absolute meltdown on the same show last year proved so gruesome they asked him back for the sequel. In fact, his surprise return has been gleefully built up by the show as though they were releasing some kind of celebrity sex offender into the wild.
Brace yourself, folks. Put the kids to bed. It's time to unleash the Danan.
He's rude, he's randy, and he is ready for the action.
Now, I think it's kind of clear who Paul's first victims, favourites will be.
Brilliant.
I'm dying to get in there. I can't wait. It's going to be, amazing.
The trouble is, it just feels sort of wrong.
Don't know if they're ready for me. I'm ready for them.
Can you put me in the couples because I'm not... No, seriously? Seriously. I don't want to be in it. I don't trust him. Please, if he starts getting drunk and starts getting aggressive, please, because keep him away from me. It really scares me.
She's scared he's going to get drunk and aggressive. All things considered, Love Island is a lot like a Club 1830 holiday. There's lots of exposed flesh, mindless poolside hijinks, and something else which I couldn't be bothered to work into this metaphor.
Your television isn't just a device for receiving pictures, it's a sort of magic window. Get your face on it and suddenly you're appearing in the nation's living rooms shrieking,